Okay, quick recording here, kind of a refresher on TSM. I've been fiddling around with it and going through the tutorials. Please look at the tutorials. The videos that the author set up on the mod page are quite good. So what I have here is a demonstration for TSM, which I can tune to either have more iron than I can smelt or more smelting capacity than I have iron. Currently we're set to using more smelting capacity. This particular configuration allows me to showcase the use of supplier stations for both I have a full train of stuff waiting to be sent to somebody who wants it, and I have an empty train ready to go pick up that same stuff when somebody has it. So how does this work? Well, let's start off by looking at our pickup station. Now, in a really simple TSM setup, this would just be a normal station. But in this case, I'm making a requester station because from my mine, I'm going to be requesting empty trains. Okay. Now, I have some inventory here, so I will be mining into boxes. And when I have enough boxes for a train, I want to bring a train in. If I have enough boxes for 2 trains, I want to ask for 2 trains to come in so that I can offload those. This will pipeline the case where I have long distances. So I request 2 trains in, I've got 2 trains full, I send 2 trains full out, I get more trains in. It takes time for the trains to get here, is what I'm saying. So how I do this is I add up the total amount of iron by linking these boxes together and send that to a combinator. And I basically say add up the number of things I've got divided by 2,000. This is the amount per train, so I'm putting 2,000 ore in each train. So this is the number of trains. I'm using L here. The reason why I'm using L is that is a signal that was suggested by these guys. If you put down a normal train station, and let's say we're going to control its, where's the constant combinator? Let's say we're going to control the number of trains it requests from here. This is not what we're doing this time, but if we did, it would suggest L. So I'm going to use L for a train limit. So going back to this, I do is I take my total amount of available stuff and I compute a train limit from it, and that gets fed in on a single wire, which goes to the train counter, which is this constant combinator put down with the request station. It also goes to the train requester. This is a special little widget that says, on a certain condition, request a train from a given priority scheme. So, here's the condition. So if the number of trains currently on the way is less than L, then we're going to request a train. Yay! So the L comes in here as a limit, and M is provided by the counter. It says how many trains are on their way, and that's good. And the other thing this provides us is the priority schema. Who are we requesting this train from? So we are requesting from, and these 2 tokens will identify which priority scheme we are looking at. I think C clears it. Let's see, where'd it go? Here it is. So that's under this up arrow, supply sourcing priorities. So we are requesting from this guy. It's a special icon provided by TSM as a virtual icon here. Select a signal here under TSM. There's a virtual signal called empty cargo wagon iron ore. Clearly this is, it's got a lot of things here, but it doesn't have everything. For instance, I don't see one for empty cargo wagon plate. So I'll have to figure out how to do that. Unknown signal. Huh, interesting. I wonder what mod I removed. So anyway, this says which priority schema this station is requesting from, and this identifies the priority schema. And again, empty, 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 empty. This says that if somebody is requesting from this pair, then they want to receive trains that were parked at iron ore depot empty. And we can do all sorts of things here. The other thing that happens is when this station is added to the train's schedule, so when TSM says, I have a train that is in this iron ore depot empty, and it is wanted by the iron mine, then it will use these wait conditions to set up the scheduling. So it says, please go there and wait at this station until, in this case we have changed this. We want to wait until full, and that's it. If we look at the other one, this is the default. The default is you wait until you're empty. So the default wait conditions are set to drop stuff at a station. So that's wait until empty or inactivity. So if you pull a train in and it's not empty, but it can't unload anything, probably because it's got the wrong stuff, the inactivity timer will trigger. And along with the wait conditions, this is where you set the stations. So this is all set up already. I selected that this guy that we're using here wants to get trains that are parked in iron ore depot empty. Come on, X out of all of this. Down, dang. Okay. And the other things I've added here, I like to have a little display so I can peek at it and see what's going on. This is telling me that we have L is 0, so we have enough. Here we have enough stuff for one train, and we have one train on the way. So if this stuck at 10 or 20, I know that I had misconfigured TSM, which is really common. I misconfigure this a lot. Let's take a look at the train schedules. So the train schedule I set up was simply go to iron ore depot empty and wait on this circuit condition. This is a special circuit condition that TSM recognizes. And it will wait at that depot until somebody calls from that depot. And when they do, it'll add the entry after it. When it's done, it heads to the next thing. This is the second one I put in. So I only put in this iron ore depot empty and iron ore depot full. It says once we have finished here at iron mine whatever and been released, we'll go to this other depot that says I think I've got a full train of stuff, and I will go and I will wait in iron ore depot full until somebody requests it in, like an iron smelter. In this case, we did indeed get requested by iron smelter 1B, and TSM added that entry to the schedule. And we're going to sit it, and it added it with this. So you notice the mine, as we configured it, said just wait for full, and the ore, well, it's gone away now. It was configured for empty or idle. We'll watch it come back in a moment. These trains move quickly because the smelter is set up to smelt a great deal more ore than we're supplying here. So the trains are always churning. If I slowed down the smelter, then our trains would end up sitting in the iron ore depot full. It's just going to slide right through there because it already has stuff. And there we get our request says, oh, please go to smelter 1B and wait there until you're empty, or they've stopped picking up stuff from you. Now there is a weirdness here. If this doesn't empty out the train. We end up with trains cycling through here. If this train were to be used for a different kind of cargo, let's say we worked out, we had all of our mines, and I don't know, we'd worked out something where trains could go back and forth with different cargoes. It could just, send the wrong stuff to the wrong place. So I think it's important that in the unloading stations, you put filter inserters, so you never unload the wrong stuff. It's also tempting down at the bottom to have the train, once it's quote emptied unquote, to go somewhere where it can drain it. Now maybe that's this iron ore depot empty, where the empty depot will in fact aggressively assure that it has emptied everything out, maybe into active provider chests or something. For something this simple, where we know this train will only ever have iron ore in it, if we are turned loose by our destination station, probably because it's full, and we still have some, that's okay, because it's the right kind of thing for our next trip around. So it's all good here. And I just want to mention that, yes, I only added this first entry, iron ore depot empty, and this iron ore depot full. Now, the other thing is fuel. If you don't change any of the startup stuff, then we have a way of doing a fuel station. You just make a station called fuel stop, capital F, capital S, no blanks, followed by the number of engines in the train. So for instance, I have fuel stop 1 because I have one engine in my trains, and they'll go here. And if I was running some 2-6 trains, they would go to fuel stop 2. Unfortunately, if you are running, say, a 141 train, that will also go to fuel stop 2. So you need to be very careful when you build your fuel stops that fuel stop N can handle any of the trains you build with N engines. Let's see how that works. I'm going to hop on one of these guys. By default, they will go to the fuel stop when they have less than 20. So he's down to 14. So he should be heading in for fuel. I don't see fuel on his schedule anywhere. I wonder if I have to... Let's speed things up. Oh, this train is simply not getting called up. I wonder if there's something wrong with his schedule. I mean, we're keeping up with things. Yeah, let's reset this train completely. See, there was something weird. So if you have less than a certain amount of fuel, it will add a stop for fuel stop and the number of locomotives, and then send you back to iron ore depot empty. And let's increase our game speed a bit. Okay, there we got called up to go get iron from iron ore mine 1B. We don't yet know where we're going, but we do know we've got some, and we can go to depot full. When we get there, we're assigned iron smelter 1A, and we empty that, and we head back to the depot. So There's our fuel. There's our complete cycle. And that's all there is to LTN. Check out the tutorials in the mod description. They will get you started on this. I am not even thinking about doing requester stations that request multiple items yet. Those are great for build everything malls. I'm not sure they're going to be useful for my factory. They might be useful if I wanted to commit to low quantities coming in. So for instance, I could request a bunch of things, each one of which used a train every 10 minutes. And I could put all those in one station instead of having, 4 or 5 or 6 stations. Anyway, that's it for this one. I'll just pop this into the playlist wherever it's handy.